St. Louis Blues hockey is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. In, up, fix, out, Dobbs does it all. Get great offers on 2015 Chevy models. Find new roads at your Mid-America Chevrolet dealer. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. The Blues wrap up a 3-game homestand looking to get back on the winning track. Our Dobbs starting goaltenders, Jake Allen goes for the Blues, his second ever game against the Flames against Jonas Hiller, who has won his last 2 starts. Blues hockey is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. It is Backes, Yashkin, and Berglund against Goodrow, Monahan, and Hudler. So the Backes line draws the assignment against the Flames' top trio. And the 20-year-old Monahan gets it in deep. Pietrangelo around the boards now for Backes. And too hard for Yashkin to knock down. And the Flames take over. Here is former Blue Chris Russell. And that is tipped along by Goodrow. And now Pietrangelo back to the goal for his partner Bouwmeester.
That's a great reverse there.
And now Oshie up the middle. Can't make a play. Turns it over. And lands Boma back in for Calgary.
Yeah, and that one there, it really has to get deep. That's what Blues are trying to establish, that north-south game right off the hop in this hockey game. It's got to get deeper than just 5 feet just inside that blue line.
And now Shattenkirk knocks a man down in the corner. Puck comes ahead. And walked along by Oshie. On with Schwartz and Stastny. Oshie back to the goal against TJ Brodie.
I think that's what he was trying to do that first time there, just slightly layer that one in. That was perfectly placed there.
And now he knocks Brodie down. Schwartz follows up. He gets it free. Now in front. Backhander. He scores! Schwartz! A first period goal!
Well, the last time the Blues scored a goal in the first period was by number 17. So the Schwartz is with the Blues here again on home ice. That was against the Winnipeg Jets. And here's the play out of the corner after TJ Oshie layered that puck in, got it in deep. Just a nifty little backhander that was innocent. Not a good goal against Jonas Hiller. Oh my goodness gracious. Through the left arm in between the side of the body, off the post and in on that saucy little backhand play.
His 25th. That ties his career high set last year. And the goal at 116. And now Laterra in front to Ty Rattie, a shot. And that was off the mark. Rattie grew up in Calgary and was a huge Flames fan as a kid. As a matter of fact, he named his dog Kipper after former Flame goalie Mika Kiprusoff. And now the Blues to center Laterra.
Who didn't love Kipper? He had an outstanding career.
Back to the goal, the Blues with it. And Rattie. Knocked away, McCulloch has it. Funnels it back to the goal again.
What a goal! What a difference the goal makes to start this game anyway. Now the Blues have to keep their foot on the pedal here. We know that the first period has not been the best for the Calgary Flames. The third period has, but it's a good start.
And a drive by Gotch is wide. And now collected by Reeves in the slot for Shattenkirk. And he had it knocked away, and the puck to center ice. That goal by Jaden Schwartz is 25th at 116 from Oshie on the Plaza Tire Service scoring summary.
I like the way the Blues regrouped after Oshie had tried to dump it in the first time around. It went all the way back into the Blues zone, but a good transition from D to D allows the Blues to get back up there again. If we stop it right there, this is the key that we're talking about here. The puck has to get in deep inside that blue line. The first time around, Oshie just kind of misplayed it. It wasn't hard enough. Now, they get it in deep, they get the cycle going, and keep your eye on Schwartz, who's going to support the play. So it's a 2-on-1 down low. Schwartz picks it up right here, and you can see that Stastny's the third man high. He's open as well. But Schwartz does the right thing there. Go to the net. And if you make that pass and it gets blocked and it goes down the other way, then you're chasing it again. But going towards the net early on like that by Schwartz is a great idea.
And Brodie dropped his stick there, and he went to get it, and that allowed Schwartz to find a lane. Now the Flames with it, and a shot on goal by Stajan. And a save by Jake Allen.
One of those tough decisions to grab the stick or just stay in the lane like that. And obviously you have to make that split decision as the Flames defenseman did. But for Jaden Schwartz and for the Blues against Calgary, Calgary's just a been the little engine that could all season long. It's been a phenomenal season for them, and they feel like they're obviously right in the battle here. I mentioned the first period. They're a minus 20 now, goals for, goals against in the first period. But they're plus 34 in the third period. They never go away.
Now the Blues into the zone again. A pass to Backes. Picked off Yashkin. A shot. Tipped on goal. And a save by Hiller. And then back for Jackman. On to Berglund. Here's Jackman, winds up, and a shot tipped in front by Yashkin. And I'm not sure if it got on goal or not.
Yeah, it looked like it did. It looked like Hiller might have got the blocker on it.
And now Backes across the line. Dealt back to Bertuzzo. In for Yashkin. And he is tied up down low by the Flame player David Schlemko. And Yashkin nowhere to go with it. Now to the line, but Bertuzzo can't get. Then he steps up and blocks St. Louis and Brandon Bollig with a hit.
That's the right step up right there to get into the game, too. Obviously, Brandon Bollig. Great article today by Dan O'Neill on St. Louisans that are made it into the NHL and the reasons why. Of course, Brandon Bollig, the only one really from here that won the Stanley Cup. Born and raised and developed here.
Won it last year, or a couple of years ago, with the Chicago Blackhawks. And now the Blues shoot it down the ice. This will be an icing call 4 minutes in.
Well, as Brandon Bollig takes his seat on the bench after that shift time now for a Toyota Keys the game. Face off to the left of goaltender Jake Allen. And in this game, setting the pace early, I think you can put a check mark to that part of it right off the hop.
So the Blues into the zone, 3-on-2. Here's a drive by Oshie on goal. And a save by Jonas Hiller.
And, you know, I think that the second one's important, too. And I think there's reflection that takes place after two disappointing losses, and that is keep the spirit going. I mean, we're fortunate that we're able to be here between the benches. And certainly the last two home games, the Blues players have tried early on in the game, but the minute a little adversity has hit them, it's gotten quiet. The spirit's dulled. Let's just put it that way. So it's really important to keep that energy up, but it also is important to have a good first period, whether you create some chances or score a goal like they've done here. The building feels different already in this hockey game.
Well, Jake Allen, a bit of a risk there. He blocked that clearing attempt with his stick. If that bounces, it's in the net. And now Pietrangelo back to get it. Nice pass on the tape of Berglund. Tip to Yashkin. And now Berglund follows up and a drive and a save by Hiller with his right arm. And now Berglund can't get it. Shattenkirk does. He's playing the left side tonight. And now Gaudreau to center ice for the Flames. The leading rookie scored. Drop pass. And a shot by Monahan goes off a body wide. Here's Brody wide open right on goal. And a save by Allen. And now it's Backes.
The one thing for sure is when you've got the Gaudreau line out on the ice, you have to have backside pressure. You have to be aware at all times. They cannot be allowed easy access to make a play on a 3-on-2 into the offensive zone. And the Blues and the fans certainly don't like that icing call. Their back has got to go back onto the ice now. But that last play, as you see this shot by Brody and a good save with the blocker. Now, the goaltender always wants that puck to go to the right and not into the slot, but just the angle of where his blocker was, it kind of got turned in just a little bit, and that's why that rebound was so hot coming out to the slot.
Now it is Brody again, fakes it. On to Mason Raymond, and a shot by Colburn wide. And now McCulloch up the boards for Yashkin. And that comes to center ice. Tonight's game is Jake Allen's first home game, first home start since February 24th. When he played Montreal. He said it was great to wake up this morning in my own bed knowing I was going to play tonight.
That's about the time that I felt sick to my stomach.
You and Glenn Hall as well.
But I miss it. Made for great days, boy, knowing that you're going to be in the NHL and the goaltender in a game. There's nothing like it.
Now staging for the Flames. And that's down the boards for Drew Shore. And now Bertuzzo back of the Blues goal. Plays it on for Jori Lehtera. And then back to the goal again for Bertuzzo. There's Ratty trying to clear it. He can't.
Yeah, that was tough position there. Ratty tried to slide over there and get it off the boards and out of play.
Yeah, on his off wing there, as now the puck is lobbed to center. And then Lehtera hands it back to Jackman. Not dressed tonight, Carl Gunnarsson. Of course, Steen and Tarasenko are injured. Porter and Butler, the other healthy scratches. Now the puck to center ice. Bertuzzo across the red line. He guns it in. Tips it back to the goal for Gotch. Little stutter step move there on Michael Backlund. Comes near the goal, now around for Pietrangelo. He throws one deep for Ott. To the line for Reeves. His wrist shot. Hit a shin pad on the way through, and the Flames break it up. And Boma smacks it in. And Reeves is hounded from behind by Backlund. And it trickles free to the former Flame, Jay Bouwmeester. And now Pietrangelo. No play is there, so he sends it around the glass. Schwartz with it, and he is hip checked to the ice by former Blue Dennis Wideman. And now kept in Pietrangelo. For Oshie. And a drive, and that's off a stick, off Wideman's stick, and into the netting.
And a check off in that streak of just over 206 minutes of shutout hockey in the first period on home ice. March 10th against Winnipeg. Jaden Schwartz fired by Michael Hutchinson. And tonight, Jaden Schwartz comes off the end boards. Good support down low. A quick little stutter step move right there with a backhander that clearly Jonas Hiller would want that one back. Didn't get square up with that shot, but goal scorers always seem to find a way to slide those through. That had a hole right between his left arm and the side of his body.
Again, ties his career high with 25 goals and a new high in points now with 57 points. He had 56 last year.
Well, he's long talked about how much he enjoys playing with Paul Stastny, but it's really imperative that they play well together, that they perform, that they execute well together so they can stay together.
You've got to produce. And now it is Zbigniew Michalek for the Blues. And off the glass and out. And that bounces back to the Flames line. Here's Brody.
Backlund tried to play that back to his winger, but Jones had already gone on for a line change.
And now it's Oshie again to center ice. Of course, Brody's partner, Mark Giordano, is out for the year with an upper body injury. He's missed the last 16 games. He is the Flames' top defenseman, but they have not missed a beat.
Great communication from the bench. Backes knew that that wasn't the matchup that they wanted. He hopped off the ice here, got Laterra on the ice.
And now it's Oshie back for Bertuzzo. Here's Jackman to Laterra, and a shot. Easy blocker save. And then another drive by Bertuzzo. That goes high over the shoulder of Hiller. And now we get a penalty here. And a tripping minor.
And Colburn got caught going forward while he didn't see behind him that Berglund had come off the bench. And as you see, getting those matchups on home ice.
Calgary minor penalty 8, tripping.
As we listen to the tripping call, their first power play of the game. But it does start with the puck going in deep again on the right side. 3 times so far in this game, Oshie's had it. He layers it in nicely so that you can get some support and some pressure. And then as the puck came around, like I mentioned, the line change had happened. So Colburn didn't see Berglund jumping from the bench, and he trips him up.
And associate coach Brad Shaw told us this morning that the Blues need to draw more penalties in the first period to get out of this funk. And they draw one here. Shattenkirk for Oshie. And a shot. May have hit Backes in front. And the Flames hard up the boards. That hits. Oshie stays in. Now Backes, who leads the Blues with 9 power play goals. Out high to Shattenkirk. He shoots one. And that's blocked by Hiller. And the Flames get it, and it's launched down the ice by T.J. Brody.
Oh, I like the fact that Shattenkirk just went to the middle and fired it. I mean, I think there was a little bit of a hesitancy there. I mean, when Shattenkirk comes back, he's such a big part of the power play, but you still got to execute the right way, and firing the puck as soon as possible has always been a good benefit to the Blues power play.
And now the Flames come in a drive from the wing, and a save by Allen.
And you mentioned
he makes that pad save.
You know, we did some research there on the power plays and penalty kill situations on home ice during that first period shutout streak. And they'd only had 10 power plays in that amount of time in the first period on home ice. So there's the shot there by Shattenkirk. His head up all the way. It's got a lot of whip right there. And I don't think Backes tipped. Oh, maybe he did. Oh, yeah, it went right underneath the armpit there of the goaltender. Hiller makes a good save.
Aaron, after practice yesterday, David Backes in front of the net, tipping shots. And I kid you not, he would hit 9 of 10 slap shots. He's amazing in front of the net.
I didn't want you to kid me. Not now.
Here's Bouwmeester, the drive and a pad save. Rebound, backhander by Berglund, and a save by Hiller. And then back to the goal, Yashkin gets it free. 45 to go in the power play. And now Yashkin on the cycle for Berglund.
Good second effort there by Yashkin.
And then Berglund drops it back. Bolmeister. And across at the line. Now it does come to center. And the Blues have to regroup in the neutral zone. And then Berglund. He goes back in. He scored last Saturday against Columbus for Pietrangelo. And now Shattenkirk off the bench to Pietrangelo. Fakes it. There's a man right in front of him. Now to Laterra. And a drive. And that was off Russell, who leads the NHL in block shots. And that goes out of play.
You know, that first pass there, but Pietrangelo knows that Shattenkirk's over on the left side is a right-hand shot. And the pass was just off the mark. Otherwise, it's a heavy one-timer from Shattenkirk, who has to corral it. And then eventually does come back to Jori Lehtera, who's had 2 good shots so far in this game. And that's an area that Jori Lehtera would admit that he probably looks to pass too much when he's playing with Vladdy Tarasenko, because of course Vladdy's got such a wicked shot, but a lot of times you can buy a little bit more time. If you shoot it early on in the game, it'll back people off and then you can make plays. Now without Tarasenko in the lineup obviously being injured, you see already Lehtera's had 2 shots.
And now 5 to go in the power play. Flames working down the ice. The Blues 3 shots on this power play, but now 0 for 1 as Colburn is back. And Schwartz dangles in on the wing. Indirectly back of the goal for Oshie. Broken up by Monahan. Here's McCulloch pinching in. And he does a good job to hold it in. Now the Flames again. They don't clear it. As Backes knocks it down now for Schwartz. Turns, fires it wide. Then comes around for Oshie. To the captain. Backes hard pass back to McCulloch. And that shot blocked in front by Brody. And now Monahan to center ice. Checked there by Backes. Shots 9-3 for the Blues. They lead on a goal by Schwartz. Now Ryan Reeves on the attack. Reeves in there against Rafael Diaz. Kick to the line. On a great hit. Now Jackman a shot. Rebound to Reeves and a rebound attempt. That was up high and maybe off the shoulder of Hiller. Tipped in front. And cleaned up by the Flames. Bertuzzo pinches in. Long shot by Reeves. And that's well off the mark. And then finally hoisted by Brody out of the Calgary zone. And now Jackman's pass. Almost picked off by Michael Backlund. Now Backlund gets it. And then Jackman comes back on him. Here are the Flames back in the goal. And Drew Shore for Schlemko. A shot. Hit Bertuzzo in front. But the Blues can't get there to clear it. That's held in by Bollig, who has now lost his stick as Jackman knocked it away to center ice. And Gotch trying to clear it out.
Yeah, that was a good pinch though by Schlemko. Did a great job of sealing the boards and keeping that in. And then Bollig just keeps it in.
As Gotch failed to clear it. And now Bollig again.
And this is low. This is where Johnny, it just takes that calmness and confidence to get through this situation, sort things out after a couple of turnovers.
Now Wideman for sure. That shot blocked by Bertuzzo. And now Gotch. And this time he plays it off a Flame to center ice. And now it's dumped in on Jonas Hiller. That was the Flames' best sequence of the game. 7:15 to go in the opening period.
It was good hockey sense by Schlemko, knowing that the Blues were on their heels a little bit there and blindly tried to bank that off the boards, and it was a good keep-in by Schlemko that resulted in that sustained pressure.
Well, BMO Harris Bank wants you to show your sign in support of the Blues. Tweet a picture of you and your sign to hashtag BMO Blues Sign Contest for a chance to win Blues prizes and have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. Visit BMOHarris.com/Blues Sign Contest or visit a local branch near you. And from the face-off, Bolmeister in for the right point. Goudreau gets it to center now for Monahan. And the puck bounces, and that is off a Blues stick, and that puts the play offside. Under 7 to go in the first period, and the Blues lead 1-0.
Well, for Bob Hartley, he's seen a lot of players come and go in the National Hockey League. But clearly one thing that impresses him with Johnny Gaudreau is the fact that Gaudreau is a hound on the puck. He back checks as hard as he forechecks. And the one thing he said is he's a well-schooled, been well-taught. His father, guy, runs a hockey rink there in New Jersey. So at an early age, Johnny Gaudreau, with most points for a rookie, knew both sides of the ice. 60 points, one more than Philip Forsberg.
And he is all rookies, as you see.
That's our Kia in the driver's seat. This young man, he gets it. He's in the driver's seat for sure.
I saw the cut on his nose the other night at the hotel in St. Louis. In the middle of the night, he gets up, goes to the bathroom. It's dark. He trips on a bench and cuts his nose on the wall.
I've heard a lot of stories.
And the wall did slow him down. And here's a drive wide of the goal. Oh, look out. It goes back to the goal. Almost carried off the skate of Allen. Now the Flames get it back to the goal for Mason Raymond. Here's Raymond again, a shot. Another shot. Right pad saved by Allen. And the Blues clean up the garbage in front. And now the Calgarian Tire Ratty. He funnels the puck to the corner, then right into the referee. That was Dan O'Rourke who slowed up Tire Ratty. And now Ratty goes off on a line change. And Mason Raymond, he was signed as a free agent for Yuri Hudler, the former Red Wing. Cross-corner dump in. And now Bouwmeester up the boards for Oshie.
Oh, nice backhand saucer right there by Oshie.
And then tipped along by Schwartz. And Schwartz trying to spin away from Russell. In front. Stastny a shot. And Hiller down. That was close to the goal line, but he has it under his right pad.
Well, in Jake Allen's last 3 games, these are impressive numbers. 2.01, 1.33 goals against average. That's mini-me-ish right there, stopping 95% of the shots that have come his way. So he comes into this game with a lot of confidence, just waiting for his opportunity. Played well on the road, did his job, and then obviously the Blues coaching staff gave the ball to Brian Elliott for the first 2 home games here. And it's not like it's all on Brian Elliott that this switch was made. Boy, was he hung out to dry with 3 separate breakaways in the game against Vancouver. Made great saves, but sometimes a change being necessary. Looking for a different look, different jump. And obviously, Jake Allen still on his side of it. John deserves to play as well. That's the benefit of having 2 solid goaltenders.
And he was real good in Pittsburgh last Tuesday in that 3-2 overtime win.
Yeah, the game never got away from him, even trailing early on. He made the saves that allowed the Blues to come back and give the Blues the hope and the belief that they could come back in the game.
Now it is Jackman. Nice pass ahead for Backes. With Berglund and Yashkin. Backes pulls up, and that pass hit Backlund's skate and carries back into the Blue zone. And now Bertuzzi with 5 to play in the first period. Blues leading on a goal by Schwartz, who has the puck in for Oshie. That puck off his stick, now taken by Stastny. And then down low for Schwartz. Back to Stastny again. Trying to get to the front. He's denied by Russell. And then it's Pietrangelo for Schwartz. He was knocked down. Gets it back. Oshie shoots one off a flame wide of the goal. And then Russell reverses to his partner Dennis Wideman, another former St. Louis Blue. Those two have played very well together on the Flames' top pairing. And now Goodrow. And then a shot by Hudler goes wide on a turnaround drive. And that's kept in by Russell. As the Flames' top line goes to work here. Hudler back for Russell. And he surveys the ice. Back of the goal. And then Goodrow in front to Wideman off the basket. Allen with a high shot.
Well, strong side pinch like that. And boy, the Blues don't see that Wideman, the big right-hand shot. The former Blues got a good shot. He had a good angle on that from in tight. You're right, they just clanked right off the mask.
Now Colburn gets it back down the ice. Shattenkirk tips it on the boards. And then it was knocked down, I believe, with a high stick by a Flame player.
Well, certainly when Dennis Wideman knows that this line here, led by Goodrow, Monahan, and Hudler behind the net, they want to lure you down below. They suck into areas of the ice, and this one clean off the middle of the mask, right on the bars there of the goaltender, Jake Allen. And all fun and games till you take a puck in the head.
Wideman a new high in goals with 14 this year. Coming off a 2-point game in Dallas on Monday.
I just remember Bob Hartley, who's had just such a phenomenal year coaching the Flames, sitting him, making him a healthy scratch as the highest paid player early in the year when they were here the first time. And talking to...
Now Dodge in front. Oh, what a save by Hiller on the rebound attempt by Marcel Dodge. And now back to Shattenkirk. And in deep for Reeves. On the cycle again. And it's Ott. And he spins around back near the line now, McCulloch. And then back to the corner for Reeves. And again back of the goal. Gotch away from Schlemko. Good ship by this fourth line. And now it's McCulloch again.
I thought the fourth line had a very, very good game in the last one as well. They're gaining more and more confidence. Watch out the far side here.
And a long pass to Raymond. Cherry picking a bit. That goes over his stick and down the ice for the icing call.
If Raymond keeps moving, then he's ahead of Shattenkirk, and it would not have been icing. But here's the play from down below. Gotch spins right there, loses his man. Granlund right there, cuts back on the forehand, and an opposite look of how Jaden Schwartz ended up scoring on his backhand right there. This goes off the stick first. Oh my! Out of midair, Gotch whacks it right into the glove.
And a great glove save by Hiller. And off the face-off, Jackman can't hold it in. Colburn ahead, now for Raymond. And Bertuzzo gets back to check it back for the Blues. Long stretch pass now for Ty Ratty. Has 21 goals this year in the minors. Puck played around by the Flames. And here's Bollig ahead. Bertuzzo trying to step up there, but Brody gets it in deep.
Oh, he could have, if he didn't want the puck, he could have taken him out.
And now Jackman against Stajan. Oh, Jackman is boarded. And now Bertuzzo throws some rights. That was Bollig, who was going to get a minor. And now Bollig lands some left hands, and Bertuzzo trying to get his right free. And they go down. And Jackman is being attended to after the hit. And he is caught, as you can see. Darren Bollig might get more than two.
Well, he will automatically. See, the rule is, on a boarding call, if there's any blood or an injury to the face, as there is to Barrett Jackman, it is an automatic major. Brandon Bollig will not get just a two for this one here. And he comes in, not only does he hit Jackman on the numbers, but Brandon Bollig, unlike him, he actually left his skates. I think his skates left the ice, excuse me, just a little bit. So he kind of lunged up there. And Bertuzzo does what you're going to do, and that's react immediately. There's the lunge up right there, and the push on the left shoulder. And Jackman's left side of his face cleanly goes into the glass right there. And without hesitation, Robert Bortuzzo, because he's got hockey sense, and he sticks up for his teammates, and he jumps right in there. Now, does it nullify part of the power play you're going to get? It sure does. But you want to see that. Reading and reacting to the play and backing up your teammate. Oh, this will be a major penalty. It's because it's automatic.
I think Bertuzzo will get the minor, and you would think in a couple of minutes the Blues will get a power play for 3 minutes. And we'll wait for the call.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it should be. Unless, you know, Bortuzzo will get, maybe he may end up getting 2 for the instigator, 5 for the fight. Meantime,
but you would think Bollig would get 5 and 5.
Yep. Oh, no question. So there should be a 3-minute power play. We're looking at it now, and yes.
I think they have it reversed on the clock.
Yeah,
they have a 5-minute penalty on the Blues side.
Reversed?
I mean, Bollig should have the 5. But according to the scoreboard, well, we won't speculate. How's that, Darren?
Well, the horn just went to get the referee O'Rourke back over.
Yeah, I don't see how the Blues can have a 5-minute major on their side. I think it's reversed.
Yeah. You've been around the game a long time, John Kelly.
A few years, like yourself. As Ott has words with Weidman. Ott has words with a lot of people.
Yeah,
Might be the most talkative player in the NHL.
Oh, his words are just rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat, too. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat. Just keeps repeating, waiting to get the ear, waiting to see if he can get in the kitchen and rattle a few pans around there.
Now they have it figured out, and the 5 minutes is on the side of Calgary. So for 2 minutes, we'll go 4-on-4, and then the Blues will get a 3-minute power play. And the Blues lead by 1.
And I'm sure Barrett Jackman, the veteran, will go off for a few sutures. Looked like it was right around the eyebrow there.
And Berglund wins the face-off from his good buddy Michael Backlund.
5 minutes for Morning.
Now the Blues to center ice, Bouwmeester. And then walked along by Berglund. And now it is David Backes. He was checked. Backlund away for Calgary. Now for Lance Boma, who has 16 goals on the year and leads the Flames in hits.
Yeah, so number 4, Tuzo ends up getting the 2 minutes for instigating and then the 5-minute major. You take that instigator any day of the week in that situation.
Now the Blues break it up in their own zone, and here comes Berglund.
Unless you're down by 2 and it's the 7th game of the playoffs.
Drop pass, Berglund, a shot, and that goes up high and off the glass. And it comes around now, Backes in the slot for Pietrangelo. He was stripped, but he gets it back from Gaudreau.
Yeah, good stick
And now Pietrangelo again, very good stick to Backes. And now in the slot for Oshie. Hands one to the corner for Backes. Here's Pietrangelo away from his man. And a shot. And it was blocked by the Flames. So Bollig does get the boarding major and a game misconduct for two for instigating in a 5-minute
1 minute to play in the first period.
major and a 10. And now it's Gaudreau in the final minute here. He lost it, and the Blues have a 3-on-2. Shattenkirk for Oshie to Shattenkirk. In front, backhander by Stastny, just wide.
What a slick play that was by Oshie to set up the shot.
And now the Flames to center. Here's T.J. Brodie. Intended for Colborne. McCulloch has it for the Blues.
That's a confident move there by T.J. Oshie.
Blues will go on the power play in 15 seconds. And now Laterra takes the scenic route behind his own goal. Shattenkirk now on to Schwartz. Rink wide to Laterra. He gets in there. He's guarded by Brodie. And then turned it over. And the Flames come back 2-on-2. And a shot by Monahan is blocked by Schwartz.
That's a good backside pressure. You have to have it. As I said before, early on in the game, I don't think the forwards were urgent enough coming back against that line. It's their most dangerous line. It's one of the most lethal lines in the NHL. So great period by Schwartz scoring the only goal and then making that play defensively as well as Scott and Bernie. The Blues finally score a goal in the first period.
After one, it's the Blues leading the Calgary Flames 1-0. Is Paul Stastny in my booth? I don't think so. He's on the ice. The mystery man is none other than Cardinal President Bill DeWitt wearing a Paul Stastny jersey. How are you doing, my
Good, John.
friend?
Good to be here.
Yeah,
Thank
great
you.
to see you here. Of course, the Cardinals start, as we know, Sunday, and it's playoff time for the Blues coming up. It's my favorite time of year. How about you?
Same here. Yeah, I mean, playoff hockey coming soon, and of course the Cardinal season starting, and the Blues are nice to hint that's coming. In their last regular season game on the 11th, they're going to wear these jerseys on the warm-up skate.
Right.
And then we'll auction them off for Blues charities and Cardinals charities.
Yeah, so a new twist, and here's David Backes modeling a Cardinal jersey. Again, during warm-up on April 11th, the Blues' last game, and I understand the Cardinals are going to turn the favor in batting practice, I would assume, down the road, right?
Yeah, as we get further into our season and then the Blues anticipate next year opening, the Cardinals are going to wear a Blues jersey, baseball jersey, for their batting practice. So it'll be a fun little thing, and Blues and Cardinals have always had a real fun partnership, and you know, this kind of things with, you know, it shows the connection between the two.
It should be a lot of fun, and I know I'm excited for opening night in Chicago Sunday night. I'm sure you and your brass are as excited as well.
It is, you know, to open at Wrigley Field, and of course the Cubs are better this year, and it's going to be a great rivalry, as it always is. And then we come back home on the 13th, Monday, for the home opener. And so, you know, civic holiday in St. Louis, and we're all looking forward to it. You know, the weather's getting better, and it's just a great time of year.
Oh, Bill, looking forward to it. Do you have any small sizes for this little guy between the benches?
Sure, Panger. I think we could make one up for you, no doubt.
Sounds good. Sounds great. How was your hockey season anyway? I know you're an avid player. Pick up any scoring championships?
I don't know. You ask Bruce Affleck. I don't think he actually tallies the results, but we have fun out there with the Blues.
Oh, he does if he scores.
Exactly.
Blues on a power play. Here comes Schwartz to Backes to Stastny. He scores a power play goal. 26 is good luck, Bill DeWitt.
I think it is, absolutely. Is that karma or what?
Yes.
Holy jumping, what a play too. Tic-tac-toe, little thanks for coming. Jonas Hiller's got to be dizzy. He's looking to his left, he's straightening out, turnover because of a blown tire right there. And here come the Blues. 1, 2, 3, waiting, and there's Stastny on the far side, untouched. Great patience shown by the captain as Wideman slides beyond there. And you can see that David Backes was waiting for Wideman to do that slide. He overextended, and Stastny's all alone.
And it's 2-0 to goal in 23 seconds. His 15th of the year. And the Blues, of course, because it's a major to Bull League, they remain on the power play for another 2 minutes. So, Darren, they could break this game open right here.
Well, keep your foot on the throat of the rattler here, because we know about Calgary. We know they won't fade away here, but that's a terrific play there. Terrific sign of confidence and composure and calmness with the puck.
As the Blues remain on the power play, Laterra hooks it back to Yashkin. Down the boards, Pietrangelo. And now Yashkin again. And then Bouwmeester, wide open, Pietrangelo. The shot on goal. And they dig away at the rebound as Ratty was there, but it's kept out by Jonas Hiller.
A good low shot there by Alex Pietrangelo. A very tippable, very deflectable opportunity there. And Ty Ratty on the doorstep, of course, for Ty Ratty, his 8th NHL game. Played his first one on April 11th last year with all those injuries down the stretch, but he puts himself in a good position. You don't have to be big to go in the front of the net.
Now Oshie drive, and he hooked that one high. Hit off the glass. 1:20 left in the power play. And Schwartz trying to deal it in front for Oshie. That was blocked. And then Russell tackles the Blues player behind the goal.
Schwartz is underneath all of that, too.
And that is Schwartz and Russell.
And he gets a little shove from behind from his former teammate, Russell.
And now Backlund with it for the Flames, for Boma. And that is intercepted there by Stastny. And TJ Oshie walks in for the Blues. They get set up on the power play again. Nice pass to Stastny. Out high, one-timer, Oshie, a drive blocked by Backlund. And then fired down the ice by Dennis Wideman.
You know, the first 2 chances for TJ Oshie, he said that he went in there on Jonas Hiller. And this often happens, that he's like, oh, goalie catches the other way. It catches you, even though you prepare, it catches you by surprise the minute you go down.
And now Schlemko, his clearing attempt hits a body. And it's cleaned up by Matt Stajan. Here come the Flames to center ice, short-handed. And they dump it behind the Blues goal. Where it's grabbed by Pietrangelo. Cardinals president Bill DeWitt is in our broadcast booth as the Blues with a 2-0 lead. Is Bill replacing Doug Armstrong as the good luck charm in the booth? Oh, he could be. We won't tell Army that.
No, that's we just didn't tell anybody that over the air, Bill.
I'll gladly carry that as long as it works.
Exactly. When it doesn't work,
you're out.
Right, you're out. By the way, Backes and Schwartz get the assist on that goal. As the Flames are now back at full strength. It's covered by Allen. And a whistle. Bill, I know you were down in spring training over the last month. How has your team looked, and anything new for the Cardinals for this year? I know you have a new right fielder.
Sure, yeah, Jason Hayward. Well, you know, it's one of those things at spring training, you want health, right? You don't want to see anyone get hurt, and you want to see guys kind of round into shape towards the end, and that's what's happened. So we're happy about that. We had some great competitions for a few spots, and I think everyone's excited about the team, you know, breaking camp today, really, and now they're heading north.
Bill, you mentioned the Cubs are going to be better, as we would expect, and the Central Division is tough. It's almost like the Central in hockey. It might be the best division in baseball and hockey as well.
Absolutely. A lot of people are talking about that, and, you know, Cubs are better, Pirates are still good, and Milwaukee's good, and even Cincinnati with a healthier team could be good. So they got their work cut out for them, but, you know, I like our chances, but it's going to be fun this year.
Oh, a great tip there into the top corner. And the Flames get on the board. It's 2-1.
Well, mentioned in the first period, there were several shifts that this top line here from the Calgary Flames, Gaudreau, Monahan, and Hudler, back you off. And it happens again here. You can see that Gaudreau gains the line. Easy entry right there. Easy entry, drops it back. Lots of time and space. you allow highly skilled players like this to make these kind of plays, they're going to make you pay. It's the hottest line in the National Hockey League. Monahan and Hudler, as a tandem, have combined for the most points.
And what a play there by Hudler, and it's redirected into the top corner. And it's 2-1 as Oshie flies in. Spinorama move, and a backhander goes wide. And the Flames flip it high. And this goes back to center ice.
You know, behind all of that, though, the gain in the zone and making the play, that was a heck of a redirection. I mean,
now Oshie steals it in on goal. And a save by Hiller as he got behind Brody.
Bill DeWitt, you've played a lot of hockey, and you've seen a lot of great athletes, the hand-eye coordination, hitting balls, making catches, but does it still amaze you when you see a play like that at full speed and the guy knows exactly where he's going to redirect that puck?
Oh, I mean, that's just amazing. And that was a redirect where there's an angle to it. You know, usually the straight-on redirects are sort of easier, but when you actually change the angle of that puck and to put it where you want to put it, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, just turning the hands a little bit, but not unlike a hitter, right? You're going to fan the bat open a little bit or close it a little bit. Or
Exactly. That hand-eye is, particularly with these hockey players, it's amazing. Even the way they bat pucks out of the air.
Oh, what a save there as the Blues look to regain their 2-goal lead.
Oh, mark that save. Holy jumper. That's a brilliant glove save there by Hiller.
Hudler and Gaudreau get the assist on the goal by Monahan, his 30th. That goal at 3:35. And the Blues, another shot got through, and a save by Hiller. And Darren, don't forget he made a great glove save in the first on Gotch.
Yeah, he sure did, after he whacked it out of midair. But this pressure starts with maybe a little bit of that old stubbornness leaving the Blues sticks. Funneling pucks towards the far pad started this whole thing. And then the puck goes behind the net, off the side, and right there to Berglund. And oh boy, what a save that is. I don't care what era, what level you're talking about. That's just a glorious glove save. Maybe Berglund's got to get that up a little higher, but it's a quick reaction, kind of a bang-bang play as it came off that pad on the near side of the post.
It is 2-1 for the Blues. 15:15 to go in the second period. And Bill DeWitt, at this time of year, I know Ballpark Village will be busy with, of course, Cardinal games, but also you can go watch the Blues when they're in the Stanley Cup playoffs down at Ballpark Village.
Absolutely, kind of the official watch party location for the road games and even home games, and we're excited because we've had some great evenings on Blues nights, especially when they're on the road for guys to come watch. And it's a great viewing environment in Ballpark Village. You get all the Blues jerseys, and it almost feels like a home game.
Exactly. Has that been better, Ballpark Village, than you and your ownership group ever even expected it to be?
I think it's definitely exceeded expectations, and it's one of those things that you hope and you expect and all that, but until it finally happens and you see 2,000 people in there enjoying it, you don't realize how great it can be. And so we're just real thrilled to be able to create kind of a really community living room for these great events.
It's a good way to put it. A very big community living room with a very big screen in the middle.
Yeah, I'd like that big screen in my community living room.
Yeah, it would look good in your basement, wouldn't it?
Sure would.
Only 40 feet diagonal. We're actually going to put a couple new side TVs on that are big and similar to the big ones, so we can do even multiple events, which happens a lot this time of year with the, you get the basketball, NCAA, you got hockey, you got baseball starting. It's great.
Bill, it's always great to see you, and you look great in the Stastny jersey. And great success this year. Good
Thanks,
luck.
guys. Great luck to the Blues.
All right, thank you.
Well, great response again for our USO Service member of the game here. But that last shift, you could applaud the effort here of this line. Laterra, Ty Ratty doing a really good job of protecting down low. But look at the position of 13 in the blue. Olli Jokinen is the third man high, making sure while there's two down below the goal line, you have to have the third man up high. This was good sustained pressure here by this line. They're gaining more confidence and synergy as it goes along here.
And off the face-off, Schwartz wheels in behind the Calgary goal. Away from Chris Russell. Now Shattenkirk tips it to Colic, a wrist shot, a rolling one block. Schwartz trying to pull the trigger, and that was poked away by Monahan. And now moved in there by the rookie Gaudreau in the slot. And Weidman got turned the wrong way, lost it. And the Blues the other way. Schwartz Now into Shattenkirk. He waits, then a shot, and a save by Hiller. And the Flames with it down low. Weidman knocks Schwartz down.
Shots now 26-8. That shooting, funneling mentality has come back for the Blues, and that's a big positive here.
Now Schwartz flips it back of the goal. Stastny in front. Oshie, a drive on goal, and a save by Hiller. And Weidman with it up the middle, and worked to center by Gaudreau, and now the Blues back to their own line.
Oshie's got some slick mitts here tonight.
Now a 3-on-2. Pietrangelo lost the puck for a moment, gets it back to the cage. And Oshie again. To the line to Bouwmeester. And looking for the tip. It comes in front and out of midair. Ott smacks it, but it goes to the Flames. And David Jones. And the former Colorado Avalanche winger. Here comes Jones in. A shot. That's blocked by Pietrangelo. And now Jones gets up back of the goal. And trying to get away from Gotch. And now grabbed by Michael Backlund. To the line. Engelland a drive and a save. That was maybe blocked in front by a Blues player. And now taken by the Blues, and Bouwmeester to center ice for Ott. And Ott across the red line. As he wants to go off on a line change. Picked up by number 29, Derek Engelland. That comes around. Jackman is back after getting repaired. But this is Backlund in for the Flames. And the young Swedish center. At the line, tied up by Yashkin. And he forces the puck back down the boards. Shots in this period, 14-2 for the Blues. As Jackman knocks a man down.
A good aggressive play there on Lance Boma, one of the leaders in hits in the National Hockey League.
Now the puck at center ice, glove down by Yashkin. Here he comes into the Flame zone. Yashkin, backhander, and off the shoulder of Hiller, and now he grabs it, and now Yashkin involved with Brody behind the goal.
But again, not reluctant to fire that puck on any angle. And this line here of Yashkin, Backes, and Berglund has all the potential in the world. We talked about it. Obviously, Yashkin and Berglund playing a lot with Paul Stastny during the course of the year. Many games in which they had complete control down low, working it along the boards. And once we come into the playoffs, it's not going to be the run-and-gun style that does it. But the Yashkin clearly dumps up Brody at the very end of that play with his stick. And could have easily been called right there. That's what you don't want, though. You want to play whistle to whistle. You don't want to be called after the whistle for any kind of minor penalties.
Now Backes wins the face-off, and a drive by Berglund got through, and Hiller had to be alert.
That was a really good save with his right pad.
And now the Flames, Gaudreau up the middle. Off the end boards, Matt Stage in there, now back on the line. Diaz on this delayed penalty now. It's going to be against the Blues. And it's thrown by Schlemko to the corner. Flames get it. On the wall now for Hudler. Hudler back to Schlemko. And a good stick there by Backes to break it up. And now the Blues will be short for the first time.
Well, the Blues don't like this call. That's for darn sure. You can hear it from my right on the Blues bench. And David Backes is the one going for the call. He'd already gone off for a change. Veteran O'Rourke makes this call. David Backes would just like his ear in an explanation, but he's not even close to getting that. The captain of the St. Louis Blues. You can see the play by Stajan right there, and Stajan's top hand left the knob of the stick right there. And the stick blade of David Backes gets him in the hand area. Didn't look like very much. Oh, nice play there by Jake Allen.
Yeah, he doesn't cover the puck.
Yeah.
So the Flames get their first power play on the year. They are ranked 11th, just under 19%. The Blues have killed 28 of 31 and are now up to 10th in the league at 82.8%. Flames come in. Gaudreau. Into the corner to Monahan. And now for a Hudler. Russell on the top. Here comes Hudler. Throws it back to the goal. And the crafty Gaudreau has it there. Far side. Hudler trying to center one to Monahan. Broken up by Pietrangelo. And played up the far boards and back to center ice.
Well, Alex Pietrangelo's having a heck of a game. And you know that when he's got that stick going like that, it's surgeon-like. Just breaking up plays and the small nuances of the game. He's been very, very alert. Very, very good in this game.
And you see the Blues penalty-killing numbers since the new year. They have been superb. Everybody seems to be on the same page on the PK. That is great news heading down the stretch.
It is, absolutely. That's second best since January 1st.
As McCulloch is knocked down by Weidman. 40 to go in Backus is Minor. Laterra trying to clear it, gets it into the middle of the ice, and then a diving Schwartz pokes one to center ice.
Swizzled that out of the zone.
Swizzled? And now the Flames come in. Schwartz squizzled it. Say that 10 times quickly. Now back to Brody. Fakes it. And then a shot off the goalpost by Monahan. And that beat Allen, but hit the goalpost.
Good shot right there. You know, you got McCulloch in front of the goaltender, and he goes to the short side with a little heel-to-toe wrister. Excellent shot.
And now Brody dangles back in for the Flames. In behind the goal, Boma. Tied up by McCulloch. Backus is back, so the Blues kill it off. Flames had one shot and one goalpost. Now Brody with it. Brody shoots one, and that's off a leg, tipped along by Stastny.
Yeah, Backus went right to the middle of the ice there to defend. After he came out of the penalty box, he went to the most dangerous area of the ice. Smart play.
And now McCulloch winds and fires it in a glove save by a kneeling Jonas Hiller. Blues leading 2-1. It was this close to being a tie game.
Do you like what you're seeing, especially in the north-south and the down-low game?
Oh, I love the way we're playing right now, Banger. It's the best we played. We got great energy. You know, we're not scoring, not finishing, but we got so many scoring chances. We're halfway through the game. We got 31 shots on goal. We just got to stay with it. You know, this is what we got. It's the way we're built right now, and we stay on this program. Hopefully we can wear them down.
Thanks, Hitch.
The Blues had 24 shots in the entire game on Monday in that loss to Vancouver. So 31, and we're just past the midway point of the game.
And it's a 2-1 game, so the Calgary Flames are doing what they do best. They are hanging around right here. And certainly the one line, and really the only line that's been real dangerous, no disrespect to the other ones, but obviously their top line, the Monahan line. And that's where the forwards of the Blues have to really be diligent, really have to put pressure on them, because they can make something out of nothing in no time flat, and they're on the ice now.
Scoring chances 11-5 for the Blues in the game. And now it's Pietrangelo deep in his own zone. With some room now for Bouwmeester. Long stretch pass to Berglund. He gets free. Berglund to Backus, and it was elevated just a bit too much, and he couldn't knock it down. Now play back of the goal to Yashkin. And Yashkin fights off the Engelland check. Stops and starts again. Looks around. What a move there by Yashkin. And now a backhander on goal, and a save by Hiller.
Love the confidence shown from Patrick Berglund since he had the goal and 1 assist. He's got 1 goal in his last 14, but he's playing with a lot of confidence right here. This breakout is outstanding. D to D, up the seam, all the way, and then Berglund had a chance before that, and there's the last play right there, the save. But Berglund, a nice little confident cut-in move on his forehand. He keeps going like that and going to the middle of the ice. He's going to bang home a lot of goals.
And now Laterra wins the face-off in front, and a quick shot by Jokinen. That was blocked before it got on goal. The Blues have won their last 5 at home against Calgary, and 8 1-1 overall in their last 10 against the Flames. Jackman to hit back of the goal. Now Drew Shore, number 22 to Raymond, centers it. That's tipped away by the Blues, and Diaz wanders in from the right point.
Well, he scored a beautiful goal in last couple of games there, and that little fake shot and went around the net. I don't remember who that was against.
It was
a
against
goal.
Dallas on Monday in the 5-3 win. As they have won their last 2 in Dallas, in Nashville. Under 7 to play here in the second period. Blues goals from Schwartz and Stastny. Monahan for the Flames. Now Stajan steps in, working against Bouwmeester. And what a job by Bouwmeester, break it up, and the Blues have a 3-on-2. Walked along by Gotch. Now Gotch trying to get it for Ott. That's off a leg of a Flame player. And now down low again to Gotch. And he wrists it back to the goal now for Reeves. Reeves on the cycle for Ott. Stops against Russell. No one's in front now, instead back to the line to McCulloch. For Bouwmeester, shoots one. That was blocked in front by the shot-blocking machine, Russell.
Well, that was a very similar setup in the same period by Ott to McCulloch, banking off the boards. The right-handed McCulloch scored in the last game on that one-timer.
That was the Blues' lone goal in that 4-1 loss. Now Weidman to center ice. Off Jones' stick. And then Backlund gets it. And a traffic jam at center. The Blues get it free. And then Jackman quickly around for Pietrangelo. Blues, remember, with only 5 defensemen with Bortuzzo still in the box. Well, and of course, Bollig is gone for the night.
Yeah, and Bortuzzo in the box. Jackman was getting repairs. So 4 guys playing some hefty minutes.
Now Schwartz back of the goal. He was checked. It comes in front, but there's Oshie for the Blues. And a nice move to center ice on for Schwartz. He comes in, fakes it. And now he just funnels it back to the goal. And Brody gets it back for the Flames. And TJ Brody right up the middle. And a little backhander on goal and a save by Allen. And the rebound is pushed high into the netting. 5:09 to go in the second. And the Blues leading 2-1.
Well, seems like a small nuance of the game is a major part of the game of hockey, and it always will be. And for Robert Bortuzzo, what he has done since coming over for Pittsburgh is not insignificant. Here's the hit from behind by Bollig, and Bortuzzo steps right in there on the tough St. Louis native right there. So he gets the 2 for the instigating, but there he comes out of the penalty box, and this is what it means. You talk about team camaraderie, being together, sticking up for one another. The players in the locker room, they know exactly what that means, and knowing that someone's got their back.
And the Flames off the face-off. Goodrow a drive. That goes high as he let it go from the blue line. And now Backes to Berglund. Shipped around and out now by Yashkin. And recovered by Dennis Weidman. And his pass up the middle. That was tipped down the ice by Hudler. No icing here. And then played off the boards. Stolen by the Flames. Russell. And he had a lane to the net but couldn't get a shot away as the Blues were sloppy on that clearing attempt.
Well, Pietrangelo just went back forward, and he did what, he just wheeled it around the boards thinking that the winger would be back there, but Russell had jumped in.
And now Yashkin beats Weidman to the icing call, and it's waved off. And now the Flames to center ice. And here is Hudler. Can't get it deep. And then Yashkin plays it right back to Dennis Weidman. With 4:14 to go here in the second period. And that's tipped by the Flames player Goodrow. And that goes out of play. Well, the Blues finish up the regular season with 3 great home games as part of Fan Appreciation Week. Great giveaways all week, including Team Poster Night, a playoff t-shirt giveaway, and fun scratchers with merchandise and concession prizes and much more. Get tickets for Fan Appreciation Week at stlouisblues.com. After tonight, the Blues have 3 at home and 2 more on the road. First, tomorrow night, the Blues are in Dallas to take on the Stars. The team that is clinging to the playoff lives. And the Blues throw it up the boards and down the ice. And now Brody has it. And around for England. Long pass by Colburn, swatted back the other way by McCulloch, and that's going to be an icing call against the Blues. Well, here is tonight's BMO Harris Bank Twit pick of the game. And they're always good, Darren Pang. And Keith put out that fire of the Calgary Flames. Nice job.
It's got Louis there, huh? It's a miniature version of Louis, the mascot.
Well, Louis is a fireman in his off days. Darren, I didn't know if you knew that or not.
I thought you were drawing a picture while you were in the dentist chair today.
No. Now Shattenkirk for the Blues, along with Oshie. And Diaz for Schlemko. Schlemko was picked up on waivers this year from Dallas. And now the Flames with it, and Diaz goes for a skate back, watched by Ratty. And now to center ice. Ratty's younger brother, by the way, Taden, is a 6'4" right winger playing Tier 2 in Canada. Darren, he's committed to Western Michigan. Of course, they're coached by Andy Murray.
Yes, they are. Well, he certainly got the size in the family.
Yes, he does.
Although Ty Ratty skates a little hunched over like that, but he's bigger than he looks.
Now Hudler pass off a leg, bounces in front, and now grabbed by Bouwmeester. And then Goodrow knocked down by Bouwmeester. And the Blues escape the forecheck, and here's Ratty.
Good outlet, good communication right there, and that shows the hockey sense there of Ty Ratty. He gets in the right spot, make sure he's an open, make sure he's an open man, make sure he's an outlet, and it's an easy out of the zone, and then it allows the forwards to get off the ice for a change.
And a long pass to center, tipped down the ice by Jones. And now the Blues with Backes. Quick pass for Berglund with 2 to play here in the period. Berglund works in against Russell. And now it's Backes helping out. Russell trying to feed it up the boards. It's on the dasher knockdown. Now Backes gets it again for the Blues. Backes to Shattenkirk. Tight angle. Can't pull the trigger. Now in front off the stick of Hiller. And it bounces right in the blue paint. And we get a whistle.
And this is an area that the Blues can really do themselves a favor. And this line has had success because they work it down low. It's not like the Calgary Flames defensemen, especially without Giordano, are very big back there. And here's the play there by Shattenkirk. He jumped in from the right point on a little bit of a cycle right there, and he tries to bank it off the goaltender. And look at it, it's loose. Smart play there by Russell. That's before Jaskin can get a hold of it. It's never really covered up. Fairly loose puck right there. Keep chopping away at those pucks when they're not completely covered up.
And now it's Gotch on the face-off against Michael Backlund. And Backlund wins that one for Brody. Long stretch pass. Shore does tip it, so it's onside here. Allen puts it up the boards now for Reeves. Nowhere to go there, so he goes back to the goal. And now grabbed by the Blues and Shattenkirk.
Oh, nice move.
And now it springs Reeves into the wing. Reeves a shot, and that's wide on the short side. Kept alive by Shattenkirk. Now for Ott. And it's passed to the deep slot off Gotch's stick down the ice. And now Allen wanders here. Ooh, didn't get a lot of that pass, but just enough. And Shattenkirk clears it.
1 minute.
Here's Ott in the final minute of drive. That was probably going high and wide, but it's gloved by Hiller. And we get a whistle.
When the first period, we saw Jake Allen move out of kind of the middle of the net to play the puck. And it's certainly confident, but the one issue is, you never know late in the period, the ice surface, a little bit of a bounce, the puck goes on edge. I prefer to keep my body in the middle of the net and play the puck from that point on, but he's a really athletic guy. He's got good hockey sense. And we've noticed that he plays the puck with a lot of confidence.
And a drive by Jackman right off the face-off, and a save by the Swiss Olympian Hiller.
It would be an interesting conversation to see Barrett Jackman with that cut over the eye, but an interesting conversation with Marty Brodeur, one of the great puck handlers and hockey sense goaltenders of all time, and see his thoughts on that.
Stastny wins another face-off, and kept in there by Bouwmeester.
Just barely kept it in.
Stastny again. That was knocked away. Goodrow to center. And the Blues check him. Stastny knocked down by Monahan. And then he makes a pass intended for Oshie, blocked now by Weidman.
That was a discreet play by Monahan. Kind of a lower push cross check on the lower back to shove Stastny down.
And then Hudler's dump in off a stick, and it goes out of play with 24 seconds left in this second period.
Yeah, so I mean the fact that if the puck's rolling flat and it comes to you, well, obviously it's a no-brainer. You go out there, the goalie blade is a lot fatter than the regular blade, and you go fired out. I mean, no better than that guy, Marty Brodeur, and how he played the puck and when he played the puck, but where he positioned himself also on long ones. You just can't take anything for granted, can you, in this game?
And now Bouwmeester on for Patrick Berglund. And then Backes was interfered with, pushing him in offside.
It's Monahan again, huh?
Yep. He's only 20, and he's their #1 center. You think they have a pretty good young player in Monahan?
Savvy former Ottawa 67, well coached, well schooled, coming from that great franchise. That former St. Louis Blues standout Jeff Brown, also a championship coach with Indianapolis in the USHL and the Bandits here in St. Louis. And now he's leading the Ottawa 67s, and they're having a great run at it in his first year. As I segue to Monahan.
Who's from Ottawa, by the way.
Yep.
Played for the 67, by the way. And that's the end of the second period. It's been a good one tonight at Scott Trade as we have some pushing here. Jackman is involved with somebody.
Matt Stajan just put the leather mitts right there to Bortuzzo as Lance Boma's trying to get in his grill. I like that. No reaction there from Robert Bortuzzo. That's the time where it's after the whistle. You don't want to retaliate. Everything's calmed down. And he does a good job there. And with Barrett Jackman there, his former teammate Dennis Weidman, he gave him a pretty good shove as well. Should be a great third period. Scott and Bernie?
It should indeed, Panger, as the two teams trade goals in the second period. Blues still with the 1-goal lead, but the Blues, Bernie, out shooting Calgary 18-4 in the second 20 minutes.
Very impressive. I mean, the Blues have really been very aggressive right from the start of the game. They scored really early, just a little more than a minute into the first period. They get another goal early on the power play in the second period. So this is the way the Blues have to play hockey. They have to be desperate. They have to be aggressive. They have to get the puck in deep and get as many shots as they can. And you know what? This is all good news, but it's only a 2-1 game. So what they have to do is they have to make sure they have their best period in this third period because they dearly need these 2 points tonight.
Blues are very familiar with 1-goal games this season. When we come up, we got the Jack in the Box intermission report. Blues lead the Flames 2-1 after 2.
The Blues try to snap a 2-game losing streak with a 2-1 lead after 40 minutes here against the Calgary Flames. John Kelly upstairs, Darren Pang downstairs. And of course, Darren, we mentioned it in the open tonight. The Blues have some new lines, and the number 1 line of Stastny. How have you thought they've looked tonight?
Well, I think they've done very, very well. Obviously, when you're at home, one of the frustrations that I'm sure players go through is those quick changes early on in the game to get that matchup, so you don't get that flow to the game. But in this one here, I mean, Jaden Schwartz starts it off here. Got a goal and assist. He set the scoring. They broke that, that 200-minute slump at home ice, scoring a goal with that one there. Last home ice scored was his against the Winnipeg Jets. Across the line, I thought Oshie made some real smart plays and getting pucks in deep. He's had some real good jump, smart play there to Shattenkirk, who feeds it over to Stastny, who just misses on the backhander. This play here by David Backes is just strong. I mean, just reeks of great calmness with the puck. And the other part, too, as we start this third period, are the face-off dots. Stastny, 73%, Backes, 75%, and Jori Lehtera, 71% on the night. It has been complete domination on the face-off.
And Stastny always plays well against Calgary. Now with 20 goals in his career against the Flames and 50 points, the most by Stastny against any NHL team. So the Blues leading 2-1. But these Flames are a great third period team. As we mentioned earlier, in the third period, they are plus 34. That is the best goal differential in the third of any NHL team. Blues hockey is sponsored by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. The Blues 28-2-4 when leading after 2. And the Flames are 10-19-4 when trailing. Teams at full strength here. As Berglund flies into the zone to Yashkin, and a shot up high, and that hits the glass. And now Goodrow to center ice. He'll chip one into the blue zone. And Bouwmeester back for the Blues.
You can fully expect, John, that the defensemen of the Calgary Flames, too, they're not going to take chances and allow odd man breaks, but they're going to join the rush as much as possible. They've been good even without Giordano. They have 3 defensemen with 40 or more points.
Now the Flames enter the zone. Number 22 is Drew Shore. Backlund back with a goal. Lost into Shattenkirk. Trying to hit Oshie. And that was off the mark. And it slides down the ice. And that's an icing call. We'll see Alex Morgan, Abby Wambach, and the U.S. women's national team take on New Zealand in a couple of days on April 4th at Busch Stadium. For tickets, visit ussoccer.com. The young Finnish center, Marcus Granlund. And he is tossed, so David Jones will take it. And Stastny wins another one. Now Jones a shot. That was well off the mark. And Oshie there against Schlemko.
Good job stick-on-stick there on Schlemko. He's got to make sure that Schlemko doesn't keep that puck in.
Now McCulloch back for the Blues. And for Shattenkirk. Tipped along by Oshie, and this rolls to center ice. And Lance Boma trying to get away from his man. He'll lob one in deep. And McCulloch He'll play it around now for Shattenkirk. In his third game back from injury. Into Jokinen. He goes wide, and a backhander goes wide. Comes back to Jackman, a drive on goal, and a save by Hiller with a nice screen in front provided by Laterra.
Again, a very simple approach there. Jokinen gets speed through the neutral zone on a little pass from Shattenkirk. Goes in wide, puts it towards the net. It misses, but it goes back to the point where Jackman just rifles that one from the left point. Gets a lot on it.
And now the Flames top line back on the ice. Here's Gaudreau into the zone. And he is nifty with the puck. He lost it, though. And scooped high to center by Bouwmeester. And now played back for Chris Russell. And then England will twist it back to Russell. Who's had a heck of a year in the Flames defense. In the slot to Raymond, a shot blocked by Bouwmeester. And that goes way high into the netting.
That faceoff's going to be the inside right there. But here's the speed down the right side. Jokinen on the backhander. And it goes up high and wide, but around the boards. And Jackman on the chain comes in and steps right into that hard shot. This is an area where you keep your foot going, and that's going to be the message from the bench here to my right, JK, and that is keep going forward, keep putting pressure. Don't sit back. You don't want to sit back against this team. You've already mentioned their third period, their comebacks in this league, which is phenomenal, trailing after 2, 10, 19, and 4. And their goals, 4 goals against differential. You got to keep hammering away here.
Attack, attack, attack. And the Blues get the puck near the line. And it does come to center, tipped back in by Mason Raymond. And that's an offside.
We'll see if Ken Hitchcock makes a change. And we talked about that spirit on the bench. We talked an awful lot about the last couple of days following 2 home losses for the Blues. And, you know, maintaining that energy level. Communication from the bench. The second period is most fun for me because I've got Alex Pietrangelo to my right, and he's definitely the most communicative player on the Blues bench, letting everybody know where everybody's at, how much time they have.
And now Boma steals it from Bertuzzo. That shot off the back of the goal. Here's Jones. And then down low for Lance Boma. Now Bertuzzo up the wing.
Oh, nice play.
And Blues to center, 2-on-1. Yashkin and Berglund. Yashkin in, shoots off the goalpost. Oh, Yashkin had Hiller beaten and rang the goalpost. And now a shot by Stastny, tipped high off the glass. And now Berglund battles on the near side against Brody. Blues get it free. McCulloch a drive, and that was blocked in front off a Flame player. And we get a whistle.
David Backes makes this play. Really an outstanding pass. Such a big guy. He shows in tight quarters there. Little spin around forehand pass right on the tape to Yashkin. In flight. And on a 2-on-1 break, Yashkin does the right thing. He looks over the right side, gets the defenseman maybe to separate a little bit. That allows a good shooting lane, and right flat off the pipe before Berglund can corral that rebound. Good clean wrister there from Dmitry Yashkin.
And that was the Blues' 6th odd man rush tonight.
And then right after that, Stastny on a line change came in, and he zipped one just high over the bar as well, knowing full well Jonas Hiller plays this game on his knees, so they're obviously going right by the ears.
And now Pietrangelo pitches in from the right point, but we get a whistle. I believe the puck was knocked down with a high stick. And the faceoff will stay in the zone.
Again, Pietrangelo and Bouwmeester back together again. Seamless when they get back there, and obviously a slower start to the year than they wanted, but it's all about coming together at the right time of the year.
And off the draw, Schwartz for Oshie. Tight angle, in front to Stastny, tipped on goal, and a save by Hiller. That was a good play there, and Hiller had to be alert.
Well, anything down below, I like the fact the Blues are jamming away, and I think you can be even more aggressive on Hiller because he takes a lot of these loose pucks for granted there around his pads in front of him. A lot of the goaltenders, they don't really get their stick on it. They just leave it there for a split second. You got to keep jamming away because in the playoffs, that's all teams are going to do. Hunting for pucks that are in the blue paint.
And here's Laterra against Joe Colburn. Laterra, Jokinen, and Ratty here for the Blues. as it was dropped unfairly. So now Laterra is tossed. So Jokinen, who is a natural center, steps in against Colbert. And the puck in that circle. It comes free for Laterra. And knocked off his skates. That was Colbert who got the stick in there. Now Ratty battles. And then Jokinen trying to get away from Brody. In the slot, Laterra the drive. And that was blocked by Englund. And now Mason Raymond the other way. That's slowed up and the play goes offside.
He kind of, as he was stick handling, he TC Chen the puck right there.
That would be a double hit if you don't know. Individual playoff tickets go on sale April 9th, but you can guarantee you'll have a seat before the rush. Simply put a 10% deposit down on 2015-16 season ticket packages, and you'll get to purchase playoff tickets before they go on sale to the general public. Time is running out. Buy your tickets at stlouisblues.com or call 314-622-BLUE. Now the Flames with it. A shot by Boma was tipped off a Blues player wide.
That came on the heels. That was a neutral zone face-off win. The Blues had the win right there by Marcel Gotch, but the Calgary Flames just won the battle of the loose puck.
And number 3 is David Schlemko. Flames playing their 4th game of a 5-game road trip. They'll wrap it up Saturday night in Edmonton. And this goes around the boards. The Flame player never tried to stop it, so no icing here.
Yeah, that's a good play there by Ott. Really good play.
And now the puck is played to center ice by Stajan. Both clubs make changes on the fly here. Here's Pietrangelo for Reeves. Ends up behind the Flame net. And Russell, who's a very good skater, good play. Down to Monahan to center ice. Whipped in by Hoodler. And then Pietrangelo. Quick pass up the middle for Backes. Off his skate.
Off the referee, too.
And now the Flames with it. In the corner, Monahan in front. Hoodler down low, comes in front. Another shot, Hoodler. And Allen got down to make that save.
Sharp save, really sharp.
And now Monahan again.
It's small area passing there by this talented threesome.
And now it's Weidman. And he winds up. Blocked by Yashkin. And now Weidman again. On the give and go, but David Backes stepped in between the two Flames and puts it out of play. And let's see if it was tipped. I believe it was.
Yes, it was. Referee signaling immediately that that faceoff will be outside. See, on the defensive side of the puck, you've got to be between your net and the puck. And if you're on the offensive side, you're on the cheating and hoping side. You can't play that way this time of year. So good defensive play by the Blues. David Backes. That was the chance before that. The quick little passes in the small areas of the ice for the Monahan line.
And they have been the Flames' best line by far, as you would expect. That's an icing call with 14-14 left in the third.
And you know I'm big on social media, as you are. And so between periods, I checked out what was going on, and apparently I say hockey sense a lot, so there might be a little game going on out there. So, so I'm not going to say it again, okay, JK?
Well, we're all for any kind of games that you want to play here, Panger. And if you want to get involved with the fans, that's your business. As the Blues come to center ice. Oshie now to the near side for Schwartz. And then Stastny. Tough angle and a shot and a save by Hiller. Stastny had a great chance down low.
Well, I mentioned before that I went through the line combinations in the beginning of the year, and seeing Schwartz and Oshie on the same lines only happened a couple of times in a consistent start to the game and finish to the game. Well, Schwartz has long talked about playing with Paul Stastny, and buddies off the ice and certain chemistry there. But this is the first full game where they've had a real good feel from start to finish, and you can see that they're gaining more confidence with one another and just making plays and trusting one another, which is the key.
Paul Stastny has a goal in 5 chances tonight. And there's Jake Allen whipping the puck to center ice. And it rolls back for Brody. He is watched by Jokinen. Dropped off to Schlemko. Broken up at center by Jackman, and then tossed back in deep by Jokinen.
That wasn't the best option there for Schlemko, but a good read by Jackman. He picked that off easily.
And now the Flames with it. Tip to center. And it goes off Jackman's stick and out of play. 13:28 left in the third period as the Blues and Flames have a slight disagreement right in front of you. Blues lead 2-1.
Time now for a Bommarito Automotive Group Sports Update up in St. Paul. Rangers and Minnesota. Rick Nash here getting his 41st of the season. Rangers with the 2-0 lead, but the Wild have come storming back. They're tied at 2 in the third at XL Energy Center. Back to John Kelly and Darren Pang.
And they are as hot as any team, the Wild are. Are they ever?
You talk about momentum with that goaltender, Devan Dubnyk. He'll find his way into the Vezina and Hart Trophy race, whether he wins it or not. Maybe he's on the outside, but his impact to the Wild has been as good as it gets.
Now Stastny a pass in front, tipped on goal, and Hiller made the save on Schwartz. As this line is dangerous again. Now Brody into Backlund. Top of the circle, a shot. That's off a stick, and it goes wide. And now down low, Stastny battles there.
Good battle on the defensive side of it there.
And then Raymond tripped up in the corner, and
call here.
Shattenkirk, I believe, will get a penalty, or Stastny. And the Blues will be short.
Well, the penalty kill will be tested. We talked about how good it's been since January 1.
No, St. Louis, 22, tripped.
Terrific call on Kevin Shattenkirk, but it'll be tested now at 87.6%, second best since January 1. The trip in the corner. Mason Raymond goes down, and in a 2-1 hockey game where the shots have been dominated, 36-12 in favor of the Blues, the Calgary Flames will have a chance on the power play here.
0 for 1 tonight.
Yeah, Russell, the passer, Wideman, the shooter on the point.
And 1 for 8 in 3 games against the Blues. And that is lobbed down the ice by Pietrangelo. The Blues 2-0 against the Flames this year, winning 4-1 and 4-0. And leading here 2-1. Russell for Gaudreau. And he gets into the Blue zone. Johnny Hockey, as they call him, a shot. And that was blocked off the stick of Hoodler. Now Pietrangelo, a couple of Flames around him. And now shoveled up the middle by Bouwmeester and down the ice.
Yeah, he had to be quick with that stick. I think that was Monahan right behind him.
And a long stretch pass. Gaudreau has it again for Calgary. And he gets in now for Wideman. Pass back to the line. Russell comes across. It holds it in. Now Russell gets it again. Wideman lines up, fires it on goal, and a save by Allen. And the rebound taken by Steve Ott. And he relieves the pressure.
Well, because that angle was a little off there, top of the circle, far side, it was a easier play for Allen to get over there, and there was no traffic.
And now Wideman again with 50 seconds left in the power play. Here's Monahan in front. Wideman is wide open, a shot. Oh, Allen made a great pass, save on the rebound on Hoodler. Brilliant save there.
Brilliant save with the left pad, right on the doorstep.
As he tried to tie the game. And now Russell for Brody. Late on the power play, Bouwmeester back to the Blues. To Stastny, and up the boards. And this goes the distance. And Shattenkirk is due back in 17 seconds. Here come the Flames to center ice. Stolen. And now Backes in against Schlemko. Backes a shot. And that's off Schlemko and high into the netting.
Talk about some of the saves that Hiller has made in this game, particularly with the glove. But this save by Jake Allen hasn't faced a whole lot of rubber in this game. But the first one, save on the redirection. Wideman, left pad, and here's the reaction on Hoodler right there. Bang! And these brand new pads that Jake Allen took out of the box about 5 days ago get right into game action. And the best save of the game.
On Hoodler, who was the second star in the NHL last month. What a year he's put together. New highs in goals, assists, and points. And that's scooped up by Allen. And the Blues are back at full strength as they give up 3 shots on goal on that power play.
Yeah, well, after Jake Allen robs Hoodler, you're right. I mean, Hoodler, 23 points, most in a month since Crosby and Kane in 2013. Talk about a signing. You know, when that signing happened with Calgary, I personally was thinking, boy, they're adding another smaller style player. They had Camilleri at the time, and now Camilleri's gone, and Hoodler has just expanded his game. Then you had Johnny Hockey, who's 160 pounds soaking wet, and we've got two guys with uncanny hockey sense and a terrific young centerman in Monahan.
And when the Red Wings won the Cup a few years ago, Hudler, for the most part, played a lot with Zetterberg. And learned from some great veteran Red Wings.
And there's Goudreau back-checking the same thing.
Penalty called here. Another one on the Blues as a Flame player lost his stick. That is Goudreau.
Now we could take a look at the face of Goudreau, and this could be a huge turning point here, whether it's a 2 or a 4. I believe it's a 2. The referee's got it. Yes, he does. A 2-minute minor penalty.
St. Louis penalty. Minor penalty, highly sticking.
Well, Goudreau, as we mentioned before, he's a two-way hockey player coming back, and see on the follow-through right there, and you can see that Berglund right away, he's actually motioning towards Goudreau. He knows exactly what happened there, and it was very inadvertent, very accidental. Much taller, 6'4", Patrick Berglund on the smaller forward, just right across the schnoz.
And Berglund is lucky he wasn't cut. Flames 0 for 2 with 4 shots. Face-off won by Stastny. And now played on for Pietrangelo, not cleared. A drive off the goalpost by Monahan. As it came right in front of Monahan, nearly tied the game.
The clearing attempt right off the shaft of the stick.
And now Chris Russell back to get it for the Flames. He defers, and here comes Goudreau. And he darts in. Pass in front to Hudler. And tripped up by Ott. And Hudler is down in some pain. Puck out of the corner. And the Flames recover it. Weidman across to Russell. And a shot blocked by Gotch's stick, but it floats in on goal. And a save by Allen. And now we have Ott involved with Hudler.
Yeah, Ott went right over to Hudler. Hudler was down for several seconds there. Slow getting up. Finds his way up, and as soon as Jake Allen covered the puck up, Ott went right towards Yuri Hudler. Minute 19 left on this power play. And here, this one went off the post. See, Pietrangelo tries to get it out there, but went off the shaft of the stick, and right there on Monahan's stick, everyone's going north. Because it clips off the shaft of the stick, it turns around on a quick shot, and just off the pipe on the glove side. Timeout being called here. And that's timeout Calgary.
Well, a couple of young men in the house, Darren, tonight that I think hockey fans had better keep an eye on. That young man on the left is Austin Matthews, who is the projected #1 overall pick in 2 years. And to his right, with the vest, is Matthew Tkachuk. And they both play for the U.S. development team, coached by former Blues assistant Donnie Granato. But Darren, keep those names in mind. Matthew Tkachuk and Austin Matthews here tonight.
Yeah, and also Brady is up there as well, a heck of a hockey player. And Big Walt's daughter Taryn is there as well. And Brett Hull and his son Jude also in the box. And there's Big Walt. Forever, the Sevens are enshrined here at Scottrade Center. Boy, does Brady ever look like Jack Eichel, who will be the first or the second overall pick, likely the second overall pick of the upcoming draft.
He plays at Boston University.
Yep.
Goudreau back of the goal after that timeout. And it comes around to Weidman. Russell fakes it. Weidman, tough angle. In front, off a stick. And just wide. That may have hit Pietrangelo. And now the Flames, Monahan in front. And a drive. And Goudreau missed the goal, I believe.
Boy, he had that side wide open.
And then Monahan a shot off the side of the goal as that came right to him again. And now Russell. His drive blocked by Schwartz. And a breakaway to Backes. Short-handed. And a save by Hiller. As Backes, a short-handed breakaway.
Not only does Hiller make the save, but he swallows up the rebound with that big leather mitt as well. Breakaway for David Backes, and what a turn of events that would have been. Team defense first as Goudreau tries to go to the stick side, and it just goes wide off the glove there of Backes, it looks like. And here's Backes going the other way, trying to get the goaltender to open up the 5-hole, but Hiller makes another brilliant save.
He has stopped 35 of 37 tonight to keep the Flames in it. 30 seconds left in Berglund's minor. As Mason Raymond dangles in for the Flames. And now played to T.J. Brodie. Brodie plays it back. And Weidman diving, can't hold it in. And the puck into the neutral zone. Now Raymond again. He comes back in for Backlund. Slows it down. Raymond for Wideman, who can really shoot it, as you know. And now a wrist shot blocked by Jackman. And Jackman punches it back to center ice.
Well, Jackman might get a hard hat award in this game. I mean, got cut, went off for repairs, made a couple of key blocks here, including that one.
Bergman is back. The Blues have killed it off. Now Colburn comes in. And a backhander is swallowed up by Jake Allen. Plenty of action at both ends. 8:26 to go, and the Blues leading 2-1.
Playing in his 8th National Hockey League game, another outstanding season in the American Hockey League, and our dirt cheap snapshot of the game. Last week's American Hockey League Player of the Week. Last year he was 4th in goals with 31. He's an Alberta boy, Calgary boy here, and this is a memory that etched in his mind right there. His hero Jerome McGinley, the Calgary Flames, although they lost in Game 7 to Dave Andreychuk and the Tampa Bay Lightning. There's Marty Dillon, who's now an assistant coach with the Calgary Flames. And as you mentioned already, Dog Kipper. Mika Kiprusoff, what a phenomenal run that was.
As they lost in 7 to the Tampa Bay Lightning. And now Stastny. And ahead for Oshie with Schwartz. Oshie, the late man, Pietrangelo in on goal. And what a save there by Hiller. Another great save. Now Pietrangelo for Schwartz. Spins off a Flame player, drops it off to Pietrangelo. In the slot tip, great play. Backdoor, another shot. And Oshie had it blocked. Some brilliant passing there. And now Monahan comes in for Calgary. In front, good stick by Bouwmeester. And here are the Blues.
Back we go again.
Schwartz, wide open to Pietrangelo. And a shot intended for Stastny, just off the mark. And now the Flames to center ice. Brody just gives it up to Bertuzzo. Darren, what did you say earlier about the Stastny and Oshie and Schwartz line, that they haven't played a lot together and not a lot of chemistry? I think they've had a lot tonight.
Yeah, well, they haven't had an extended period of time together.
Exactly.
That's what I was saying. Tonight's different because they are together. They get the feel for one another, and you can definitely see that on the ice.
Yeah,
and it all stems from Stastny's ability to make a play.
Well, they've been good tonight. 7:10 to go in the third. Blues goals from Schwartz and Stastny. Monahan has scored for Calgary. And now the puck to center ice. And David Schlemko drops it back. It bounces over the stick of TJ Brody. Calgary's outshot the Blues 7-6 in this third, with a big edge for the Blues all night. Now Brody off the boards and in, played by Shattenkirk to McCulloch on the center. Here's a 3-on-2, but Yashkin had the puck roll on him, and the play goes offside.
A little of that happy feet there for Yashka, trying to get that puck from his skates to his stick. But here's the chemistry here. As you can see, that one-touch pass by Oshie. Right over there to Schwartz. Right to Stastny. To Oshie. And just missed there. And again, letting the puck do the work as Oshie left the zone, reading that the Blues had the puck and he was gone through the neutral zone right in front of me. That led that odd man break.
Now Dennis Wideman plays it around the near boards.
Nice
cut off
play
by McCulloch. And Patrick Berglund. He turns on the cycle for Yashkin. Yashkin trying to break a goal drought. In front to Backus. And a shot. Blocked. Yashkin, and another great glove save by Hiller. That's about 3 dandies tonight with his right glove.
Oh, it looks like Grant Fuhr in that net with that glove. Working it.
And now Backus to Berglund. Back to Backus. Wheels back to the goal. Trying to center one. And it comes back to McCulloch. And that ends up in behind the Flame net. Grabbed by Russell. Cut off by Yashkin. And now a pass in front. And a good stick there by Dennis Wideman to break it up. Here's Shattenkirk off the boards. And walked along by Reeves. Drop pass to Pietrangelo. And then Reeves gets free for Schwartz. Tight angle, doesn't shoot it. And now Schwartz to the line to Bouwmeester. And his shot tipped off a Flame stick off the glass. And now played on to Gaudreau. And he gets to center ice.
Smart play on a 1-on-4 there. He just hoisted over everybody.
And now Stastny back defensively. Back to this side, Pietrangelo. And then Hoodler cuts it off for the Flames. Looking for the give and go down low. And out of Monahan. Monahan checked. And Goudreau's pass blocked by Schwartz. And the Blues relieve the pressure. Schwartz dumps it in.
Yeah, his main goal was just get into the red line. Sprint to the red line and get it in deep.
Under 5 to play here. Schlemko back for Calgary. And now it's Jackman, who was cut earlier in the game on a hit by Boley. That comes around. Ott battles against Wideman. And they try and pry it free from the boards. And it does come to the corner. Jackman and Gotch there. And now Marcel Gotch skates away from the pressure. Then pulls up and feeds it off the boards.
Oh, another good play.
And no icing here.
No, it's no. Good play by Ott, though. He went right to Wideman. Made sure that puck goes off the glass. He took out Wideman. Wideman wasn't able to keep it in.
Now the Flames to stage it off his stick. Now he hooks it back to the goal for Jackman. And now for Laterra. 2 Flames around him. And then back to the near corner now for Bertuzzo. And his pass on the tape of Jokinen. And he tosses one in from center ice. It is Wideman, bothered by Laterra. And now Laterra trying to get it. Russell jams it, not out. Kept in by Oshie to the line of Shattenkirk. And he fires it wide. And it came in front. Too hot to handle there for Jokin. Now played back to the goal again to Laterra. He looks around. Plays it back. Oshie fakes it. And then McCulloch, a drive. Short-sided, a save by Hiller. And Russell trying to go up the middle. That's cut off by Laterra.
Good read by Laterra.
And now Berglund steals it. Here's Berglund in. And forced back with a goal. And a backhander. They score! Laterra! And it's 3-1.
Terrific sustained pressure, and Jori Laterra, the fine Finn, bangs it home right on the doorstep. Third in his last 12. Patrick Berglund does a great job on the line change. As you can see, fresh bodies come on the ice. Berglund strips the puck from shore, wraps it around on the net. Might have gone off the paddle of the stick of the goaltender down below there. Yes, it does. And then Karam's right there to Jori Laterra. And that's a huge goal past the glove side, finally solving that area of the net on Jonas Hiller.
His first goal in 7, 12th of the year. And the Blues lead 3-1. Now Hoodler a drive, and then the Flames pull the goaltender. And we get a whistle as Hiller had made a beeline to the bench with 3 minutes left. As Laterra gives the Blues a 2-goal lead here in the third period.
Well, Patrick Berglund, as soon as he came back to the bench, his teammates telling him way to drive hard to the net, and that's why it is our Mazda drive to the net. As he pulls it wide on Brody, that long reach. How many times have we said that? That Patrick Berglund, when he plays confidently, very few guys can get him off the puck. But there you see the backhand attempt by Laterra midway through the net. I'm sure that Hiller's thinking that's going to go up real high. His glove goes up high. The puck goes between his pad and his glove. Middle of the net.
Laterra from Berglund at 16:45. And it's 3-1. We'll see if Bob Hartley pulls Hiller again. When he gets a chance, I would think he would. As Goudreau has it for the Flames. And he'll drop it off for Chris Russell. The Blues win and they clinch a playoff spot. There goes Hiller off. Empty net here. Now Russell for Wideman. Goudreau again for Calgary. Pass across the slot. Kept alive by Wideman. And broken up by Oshie.
Hoodler was wide open there. He just took one step too close to the goal line. Otherwise, it's a left-hand shot. Goudreau's got him.
Now Goudreau again drops it off. Hoodler broken up. The Blues have it. Empty net here. Laterra in front. Berglund shoots. He scores!
So it's a lot about Jori Lehtera in that situation. Lehtera has a chance to score into the empty net after the puck goes by the D, and instead he makes a nice little feathery backhand pass, and Patrick Berglund bangs home the empty net goal to solidify 2 points in a real important game here for the St. Louis Blues to get back on track again.
Well, the Blues have scored 4 with the McD app. You can buy one, get one free. Big Mac or quarter pounder with cheese. The goal by Berglund is 10th of the year. And it's 4-1. As this might be the Blues' most complete effort in 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, the shots on goal heavily favoring the Blues, but I think just getting back to the basics, getting back to the spirit of the game, real professional practice, real mindset, real solid going into this. Without Alexander Steen, without Vladimir Tarasenko, you have to find a different way of going about business. And a straight line approach is never a bad approach, because I think they were kind of finding themselves into some quirky habits, going sideways just a little bit too much this time of year when every other team in the league is going north and south. So I think this game solidifies that going back to the basics is a positive.
Lehtera and Stastny get the assist on that goal by Berglund. A drive by Gotch, tip wide. 1:15 to go here. And the Blues leading 4-1. And with 43 shots, that is one shy of a season high. Stay with us here on Fox Sports Midwest. Missouri Lottery Blues Live is next with Scott and Bernie. Darren's downstairs with his great interviews, and we'll analyze this one on Missouri Lottery Blues Live.
And JK, just before the empty net goal, this opportunity, here's the pass I'm talking about with Gaudreau. He's looking at Hudler, and Hudler just stays where he's at. He just has to take one more step to his left, and he's got a good chance to, to at least have a good quality chance on the short side on Jake Allen.
Now a pass by Wideman, and that goes by Colburn, and that's an icing call. Again, the Blues are in Dallas tomorrow night. And then in Chicago on Easter Sunday before the Blues come back home next Tuesday against Winnipeg for the final 3 games on home ice. Again, the Blues will clinch with the win tonight and move over 100 points for the 7th time in team history in the 3rd in 4 years. Under a minute to go here. Brody to Colburn. And a shot wide of Jake Allen.
That'll be 300-plus point seasons with Hitchcock at the helm here.
And Jake Allen about to win 20 games. So the Blues will have 2 20-game winners. Elliott 24, now Allen 20 wins.
And of course, Ken Hitchcock's got some great help as well. Part of those 300-plus point seasons. Ray Bennett, Bradshaw, Kirk Muller joins the team this year. Heck of an accomplishment to all these coaches that put a lot of time and effort into the everyday values of getting the team going.
Video coach Sean Farrell does a great job.
Can't forget about Big Sean. A lot with skills as well.
And they counted down the final 10 as the Blues are going to snap the losing streak and clinch a playoff berth with a 4-1 victory against the Flames.
Well, Tom Stillman's a happy camper, as you would expect. And the Blues fans, after a couple of games at home that were disappointing, find their way back on the railroad tracks again. And Jake Allen gets the win, not overly tested, but played a real rock-solid hockey game.
The shot's 43-18. And Paul Stastny gets the game winner as the Blues win 4-1.
Well, John Kelly, this is a complete team effort here. So our Bud Light players of the game will go to that line we talked about in the open. And Schwartz, a goal and a helper, and Paul Stastny had a very well-rounded game. Excellent on the dots, and TJ Oshie had that jump in his step as he normally does. Played some real smart hockey here tonight.
Let's go to Tom Calhoun for tonight's 3 stars.
And now let's meet the Bud Light 3 stars of tonight's game. The game's third star, scoring 1 goal and adding 1 assist. Playing in a forward for the Blues, number 17, Jaden Schwartz. The game's second star, playing on defense for the Blues, number 27, Alex Pietrangelo. And the game's first star, with 1 goal and 1 assist in the game, playing in a forward, number 26, Paul Stastny.
Well, Paul, good feeling, kind of stopping the bleeding a little bit. 2 losses on home ice. It looks like you guys were invigorated in this hockey game, very well focused, led by your line and 2 new wingers in Oshie and obviously Jaden Schwartz.
Yeah, I thought we all played well. I think not just our line, our whole team. I think Snake made a couple big saves there when it was 2-1, and all the lines chipped in, and it was, crowds behind us, got all the momentum the whole game. It was easy to play. It
was over 200 minutes of not scoring a goal in the first period. Was that a focal point, just kind of draining on you a little bit, and how relieved were you guys to have Jaden score that goal early in the game?
Yeah, I don't think we're relieved. It doesn't matter. As long as we have the lead, that's all that's important to us. And we just got to be a little more creative. I think take a little more chances and throughout the whole game and create more to get goals like that. And Schwartz just took the puck to the net and got a fortunate bounce.
Well, you've always been a creative hockey player, but I thought on the defensive side of the puck, you guys were very responsible in your own zone as well.
Yeah, I think they have they play a high-risk, high-reward game. I think they move the puck cross seam a lot, and a lot of block shots throughout our D-men. Like I said, I think there's a couple that went through that. Snake made a couple big saves, and he was phenomenal for us tonight.
Yeah, he sure was. Jake Allen was terrific. You need great goaltending and special teams. Your penalty kill also came up big in the third period.
Yeah, like I said, it was just a sound effort all around. So we're happy with it, and we forget about it tonight and get ready for tomorrow.
Thanks for taking the time, Paul. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you very much. Scott and Bernie, back up to you.